concept getters, how are you? I hope everything is alright. I hope everything is going well with your preparations for exams and that you're going to understand this proof of area rule, right? So the first thing that you have to know about this proof is that you have to construct. Remember, they gave you ACB as a triangle here, right? And if they give you that triangle, you're gonna first find the side C, which subtends C1 here, and then side A, which subtends angle A at the top, and then you also have side B, which subtends angle B, right? Once you get those sides, and remember you label your C1 and you also your C2, then you construct. So the first step is to construct. You're going to say, I'm going to construct height H, which is perpendicular, right? So you're going to say number one, first step, you can even write 1 here and say construct perpendicular height what? Height H, right? And then when you construct it, remember, it's going to be what? It's going to be AD, right? Such that what? AD is going to be perpendicular to CB, this line. So you're going to construct it here. You're going to be like zupu, my AD is this one here. Let me just make it a straight line without being dramatic, right? So it's just going to be here, from here to here, and then it's going to be perpendicular to the base of CB. Remember, CB was extended to make this line here. Clear, guys? Then after you construct it, you say again, I will have my AD. Remember, you even specify and say my AD is basically my H. And I also have C1 and I have C2. And once you get those ones, you are fine. You might even specify that angle ACB is the C1 and also angle ACD is the C2. You can specify in your construct. Now, when you are done with the construction, you look at this triangle for your first step to continue with the first step. Remember, you're going to have two triangles, this one and this one. This one is going to be on the last step, but this one is going to be on the first. So in this constructed triangle, you're going to need to make this H the subject of the formula. That's all you need right now. Remember, the H is AD. And then in this triangle, you're going to find the area, right? So let's start. Let's see what's happening. So I'm going to start by first writing that these two angles are 180 because they are angles on a straight line, right? So that you can find angle C2 in terms of C1 or C1 in terms of C2. We'll see, right? So let's start. The first step is to say in triangle ADC, right? You're going to say in this triangle what's happening. C1 plus C2 will give me 180 degree. And my reason is angles on a straight line, right? And I'm done with that, which means now I can say, therefore, my C2 is what? My C2 will be 180 degrees minus C1, right? So my C2 is basically 180 minus C1. Clear, because they are angles on a straight line. Then when I'm done with that, I'm going to now look at this one here, this triangle, which is our right-angled triangle. And I will say C2, you see this angle as the angle that I'm dealing with. I will say sine of it is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, right? So I'll just write it down and say sine C2 is equal to, opposite is what? Is H. Hypotenuse is B. And if I want to make my H the subject of the formula, I'll multiply it by B, both sides. And then I will say my H will be what? Will be B sine of. And now remember, my C2 here, my C2 is 180 minus C1. So where I see this C2, I'll substitute by 180 minus C1. So I'll just say B sine what? B sine 180 degrees minus C1, and I close. That makes sense, right? Now remember, with the mnemonic, if I draw something like this, I will say when I have 180 minus, it's going to be in the second quadrant, right? And in the second quadrant, it's going to be what? Which is the second quadrant. That's where sine is positive, which means sine 180 minus C1 will just give me what? Sine C1, because sine is positive. So I'm going to write there and say what? And say, therefore, H is equal to B sine C1. And I got it. I made my H the subject of the formula. So this is the first step. The second step, we're going to write it in here, right? Now, in the second step, I'm going to say I'm finding the area. Let me write it. Find area of triangle, this triangle in here, right? Which is triangle ACB. So I'll write it and say in triangle ACB, what's happening? Remember, it's ACB. What's happening in triangle ACB? I will say area is equal to, with the area rule, just using the normal area rule, right? I'll say area is what? Area of triangle ACB will be half of, right? The base. I can say base multiplied by perpendicular height. What's going to be the perpendicular height for this one, guys? I can write equal sign and say 1 over 2. What's going to be my base? My base is this one. But remember, I'm dealing with a triangle, so it's just going to be CB. And what's going to be my perpendicular height? My perpendicular height is this one, according to the triangle rules, right? So I'll just say half of base is BC, right? And then my perpendicular height is H. Do we agree on that? Then I'll just say is equals to half of, what is my BC? My BC is this A here, right? So I'll just say times A times. And what is my H? My H, remember here we got it, guys. It was this one. It's B sine C1. So I'll just write it and say B sine C1. So I can say, therefore, area will be what? Will be half of A, B sine C1. And then I'm done. Guys, this thing is easy. This thing is easy. And as you can see, it looks like this one here. Come on. Come on. Anyways, when you're done, after analyzing, you can watch this video twice. And then when you're done, you go here and you do the deed, right? The deed is to do what? You serve the community, guys. Come on. You give back to the community and do what? And subscribe, right? As you got it for free, subscribe for free, and also share for free, right? Like for free. Everything is free, guys. Say something for free, right? And it's an end and an end and an end and an end and end.